Happy Friday!
It's not Friday.
Friday? What? What? We're midweek still, Ivan.
This guy.
Wishful thinking.
Oh, if
We're not there yet.
Oh my goodness.
Good. Like sometimes I get Evan. I guess
No.
I'm spreading them too much all over.
You gotta hit it. You gotta hit it accurately a couple times, Ivan. Then you might throw me off guard.
All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Smart Assets. My name is Ivan Demos, CMO of the American Crypto Academy, and I'm joined with a couple of my buddies in Web3 space. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. I'm Evan. I go by EvDog Crypto on Twitter. I'm an analyst for Sarsen Funds and an avid crypto enjoyer. We're also joined by ACA's newest intern, Mr. Kenton. You want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I'm Kenton. I'm another Web3 friend here. Just joining the show for the first time today, but I've already joined the ACA crew. So very excited to, I guess, bring whatever talent I have to the American Crypto Academy and Smart Assets. Looking forward to tonight and just getting on board. Thanks for having me, guys.
Right on. Welcome. It's another exciting show we've gotten planned, and I don't know. I guess we always like to touch on some of the topics and let everyone know what we've gotten stored. So why not just go through that real quick, Evan? And I'll jump right in there. Warner Brothers. If you haven't known, Warner Brothers did a movie as an NFT before, and so they have a new movie coming up. So I'm going to talk a little bit on that, as well as I'm going to follow up to last week's Mercedes-Benz release, as that went live today, I believe. I don't know. Maybe it was yesterday. Days March. Puma, our latest sneaker manufacturer that's entering the space. Really exciting. And with that, what do you got for us, Evan?
So I have an update on the beta gameplay that I actually got access to for Army of Tactics. Going to be sharing a little bit of that, as well as some of the Web3 features that I've kind of figured out after playing around with the game a little bit. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about Drip, which is one of the most amazing initiatives that's been launched on Solana over the last year, what they're doing, how you guys can participate for free, and then their CNFT drop today and what that actually means for the space, as well as I want to talk a little bit about Ordinal MaxiBiz. It's a Bitcoin Ordinals NFT collection. It's what makes them special and why I think that it is going to be one of the most prominent NFT collections that lives on Bitcoin. Good show ahead of us tonight. I hope you guys stay tuned, got your popcorn and snacks, and are ready for a fun one.
I don't know. That Drip sounds dirty. That's all I'm going to say. And no
You'll see.
Of course, that's where your mind goes, Ivan. Of course.
As a reminder, everything and anything we share in the show is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes. And don't hold that against us. Don't use it as or take it as any financial advice. And by all means, jump in there and ask us anything you may want to know. Welcome to the show. Kenton, welcome. It's your first show. It should be exciting. Don't be shy. Jump in there and share any knowledge you can offer up with regards to any topics you bring up.
Well, listen, I gotta hear some of these topics first. It looks like you guys came fully prepared with copious amounts of information for us to dissect and get through. So I'm gonna listen. I'll give my opinion and my 2 cents on things. But no, I'm anxious about a lot of what you said. Where do we start for today? What's the first place on the map?
Do we want to kick it off on my end, Ivan, or do you want to start with the Mercedes Mint?
Why don't you lead us in? And I was
All
gonna
right.
do Warner Brothers first. I think that's gonna be very exciting, and then finish it, Mercedes and then Puma and whatnot. But we'll get right into it. Why don't you lead us in? What do you got?
Absolutely. So I'm going to share a little bit of gameplay. I know last week we showed kind of the intro, the tutorial that they have on their website. I want to share a little bit of the gameplay. I've played probably about 5 or 6 hours total of this so far, and so it's been a lot of learning and a lot of amazing experience here. Let me see.
Wait, so is this on mobile only, or have you on a computer? And
mobile
so you just
only.
recorded your mobile, and you're going to share video with us?
Yes, sir. If that's all right.
Okay. Of course. I was saying one day we should play live if we can. All right. Let's see what you got.
So we can see this here. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the best. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Is there audio to this?
Oh, can you guys not hear the audio? Oh no.
Did you share
no audio
tab? Or what was it? Did you share a tab? Yeah. There you go.
Since it's
it's not a tab. It's a
yes.
WhatsApp. Okay, so we won't hear. So downloaded. If you download it, then you can play it and share that window, and then we'll hear the audio. Otherwise, throw it to a browser and share that tab.
Okay, I'll try and download this here real quick.
All right. Well, I guess maybe we can just move on to my topic then, since Evan's not prepared. I was so
Warner Brothers.
Getting into some gaming up in here. No, maybe he's quick. Are you good? You good? I don't want to take his
I'm trying. No, you go ahead. It's gonna take me a minute here. I'm not as quick as I wish I was.
Yeah, Ivan, what's going on with Warner Brothers? I want to hear more about this. You said a movie having to do with NFTs?
Is this the first you hear of them having done this? So last year sometime they released Lord of the Rings as an NFT. And you could get one of 3 different extended edition Web3 movie experiences, they called it. So I'm going to present here. Just 1 second. Share screen and a tab. And we want this tab. And that way we have some audio if we need it. So they're calling it Movieverse. And this is in collaboration with Illuvio.
Yep, that's a name I know.
That's the brand that powers it. And so last year I managed to snag one of these. It took a while to sell, and it was at $30. So it reminded me of an experience of where I was buying a DVD of with a movie, except this added a Web3 component to it, where it was a collectible. You can get one of 3 different locations that would that's displayed on your particular collectible, and based on commonality, unlock different a few different features within the product. And so they had the Epic Edition, and I guess it sold out eventually. It took a while for it. Oh no, you can still buy this one. The Epic Edition sold out, which was 1,000 of them. I guess that was priced more. But so now, they just announced that they're releasing Superman. Wait, it's I have my wallet connected, so it's probably checking that because I went backwards. But they're releasing Superman Experience. Hey pup, that's not yours. It's the other pups. Where did I go? How did I end up on this again? Go back. Superman. And it allows you to create or own a digital version of the movie, as well as they usually add some more features in there, just like DVDs did. And now you have also a collectible digital asset that you own and you can resell. Unlike DVDs, you can resell this where nobody's stopping you, because the moment you bought a DVD, we're kind of limited. Now you can sell it party to private party before, I guess, anyways, but I don't know. There was always a stigma of like, once you buy something with copyrights, I guess you can't return it, because I have a lot of retail time I've spent in the back end. So like, that's where maybe I'm coming from. So like, I don't know, but let's watch the trailer real quick.
For the first time ever, Superman Web3 movie experience. Immerse yourself in a one-of-a-kind digital world. Journey to exciting locations, including the Fortress of Solitude and Lex Luthor's lair, where you'll discover new digital Easter eggs. Get closer using Superman's X-ray vision to uncover amazing content and an original illustration by one of 3 DC artists. Get access to specially curated galleries with Warner Brothers Archives costumes. Relive the epic movie in 4K Ultra HD. Then continue your journey with hours of bonusers and much more.
I've got you. You've got me. Who's got you?
Superman Web3 movie experience. Collect all 3 premium editions. Available for only 24 hours. Dropping June 9th at 8 a.m. at web3.wb.com. Alluvio account registration required.
So they're doing this a little different. It's only available for 24 hours versus the Lord of the Rings, which you can still purchase. And so that's going to be interesting and make it a little more of a collectible.
So I'm just curious, what do you think the X-ray vision does? They said if you use Superman's X-ray vision, you can see through the build. I guess they're just building in a lot of like knickknacks and stuff into the quote unquote utility of this. Is that what they did with the Lord of the Rings one as well, Ivan?
I think the X-ray vision probably allows you to see how certain effects were done. I would imagine. I haven't read into it. Lord of the Rings didn't have X-ray visions because that didn't exist in that universe. But it did have several like it did have a gaming gamification side to it, because it had you explore all of the content within the NFT and all of the features to unlock other features that then they kind of like highlighted your profile. I don't know if anything's going to come out of that, but they did add a little bit of a gamification to it. So I imagine with Superman they'll do something to that effect. It's going to be interesting, I think, to see. Again, I still have all my DVDs. I have hundreds of DVDs and some Blu-rays eventually that technology came around, and I don't want to necessarily get rid of those. I got rid of all my VHS. I'm still holding on to my DVDs. I don't know. Evan, do you own any DVDs?
Not anymore. I did for a while, but I shedded those when I went to college. Yeah, those were given away, but.
And so, like, let me see if I can show you. Yeah, here's the NFT that I own with Lord of the Rings, and I guess I can list it for sale or whatever. Look, it's number 87. Hey, it's kind of a little mint. I don't know. That always excites me. And you can watch the featured film extended edition or the Rivendell experience. What is that? Can you still see this? No, because I'm sharing a different tab. All right, let me switch tabs real quick. Share. Sorry, no. Lord of the Rings. Here we go. Is this it? Yep. All right. So this is that experience. And it just kind of takes you around. It lets you go through different areas that are a little more interactive than DVDs have allowed us thus far, and click and explore and jump into the movie or enter like different areas and look at gallery and learn about the production of the film. Makes it's from a film enthusiast perspective, and it being digital, and the fact that it's tied to a blockchain and you'll have ownership indefinitely until you get rid of it or that blockchain goes kaput, I guess. But even then, because of IPFS, depending on storage and everything else, because of these digital rights, it's another layer of like, now you don't have to worry about saving the movies that you like and you watch over and over. And some I've gotten live before where I've watched plenty of movies over and over again. Like my favorite movie is The Fifth Element. Oh my god, I'm gonna line up to get the NFT of The Fifth Element so I can store this digitally and potentially pass it down. And that's what these digital assets create is generation wealth, where you can pass all of it down regardless if it's tangible or fungible or not. And yeah, that's what excites me about it. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. You're spot on with the fact that this is way easier for people to transfer around, to pass down. I mean, even just to manage this, it's like what you said, Evan. I got rid of all of my DVDs a while ago. Like, I even remember VHS cassette tapes, and it's just like, that's all done too. Having that tangible product, though, this is such a great solution to that. And it's cool. You get to watch the whole movie, and then they have like bonus features through it. And they could really build that out through Web3. They could really build out all the extras that they include with any of these movies. I'm anxious to see what the Superman does, because that's it's honestly not even a movie that I'm familiar with. But if they're only doing it for one day, they might really have high expectations for it. That's what you said. It's like a 1 day mint just for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what it said. But wait a minute, time out. You said
What?
You're not familiar with Superman?
I didn't see it. I never saw it. Lord of the Rings, I've seen. That's a great little trilogy. This Superman, nope, no idea.
All right, we're gonna pause this show and we're gonna watch the original Superman right now live. Get your popcorn. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna need extra popcorn, not just for smart assets, but for the entire feature film length of Superman. No, but it's great that they're doing that with movies. Very, very interesting.
I'm curious to see what they're going to start doing when they think about Web3 before these movies are produced, before all of this content is created. What cool features and cool different assets they're going to be creating from day one instead of after the fact. That's what gets me excited about some of these test runs that these companies are doing. You know what I mean?
I think if we tie in AR and digital assets or XR, depending on what you call it, with obviously the recent Apple announcement and the equipment that are coming out, and I don't know if everyone caught the other headline. They also bought a smaller company just the other day after that announcement came out that is producing a light AR goggles set, and so I imagine before or by the time that Apple releases that headset, we're going to have a lighter version that's not $3,500, and that's therefore potentially exposing them to a higher market share and more onboarding. And so with that, when you have a screen like that where you can have multiple screens or multiple displays running and being supported naturally without issues, and you tie in movies with digital assets that you own, the creativity falls back on the label and the manufacturer, the company that's releasing this, and the team that is executing it to be able to deliver a more immersive experience, where it also now creates another level of competition. And even though in Hollywood, the writers are on strike and they don't want to produce new content, there's tons of old content that with new technology can become more engaging and therefore create more revenue. And sorry, I know I made a big circle around that, but like those
it's all true. That's all true. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you 100% too. And you're even probably referring to just NFTs in general, kind of building the landscape of a movie. Yeah. Because imagine there's already been smaller projects that have tried that. I think that some have even been successful to an extent. I can't think of any right off the top of my head. But when you think about like big companies getting into it, it sounds like a no-brainer for them. They're just going to do it for brand engagement and building a true fan base. I mean, because that's what they need to do before any movie launch. So if somebody can actually buy something that attributes to a character in the movie, maybe it is that character. Maybe they get the one of one, I see that being huge for entertainment in general. And it's funny too, Ivan, you mentioned the whole writer's strike. I think we're going to see some very interesting content come from this. I believe it was the other day on one of the morning shows. I think that somebody brought up the fact too that even reality TV came out of the last writer's strike. And am I wrong to say that? Yes.
No.
Yeah, I said that, and it's true. Like, if you follow it, because that was back in the late '90s when the writers went on strike, and like at one point we weren't getting any quality television. That's when studios or labels were forced to introduce reality TV. Now, reality TV, as we know at this point, is all scripted still, but you then need those creative writers to put out fantastic shows or entertaining shows where you can just pay a bunch of people a little bit of money, give them a little dangle carrot of a prize in front of them, and it's like, here, follow the script and then play yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Easy to be them. I think of Survivor whenever you say that too. Survivor is such a good example.
Yeah, that's one of the shows. It was all of those shows that have been running for 20 some odd years now or longer. It all came out of that. Like the cooking show, a lot of the cooking shows. I mean, we had some cooking shows, right? But a lot of the cooking shows. I mean, Chef Ramsay, I'm a big fan. I love his shows. I'm not knocking the shows, and to me, those are a little more serious to cooking shows because it still takes some talent. You can't script the talent or somebody cooking or. But yeah, and to Jahan's point, I think it's going to be interesting of what Web3 is going to do for reality shows, and when we tie in AI into it as well, who cares that the writers are on strike? And to my point, like all of that is moving away from Hollywood and California anyway. So now you have different, what's the word? That goes on strike. Different
writers, mediums.
No, everyone's part of a community. The working. Oh my god, I can't think of the word.
Writers Guild, writers.
Well, the guild,
union
was the word I was looking for. Sorry, for some reason it was
No, I know what you mean.
I was thinking of communism, not union, but Soviet Union. There you go, the union. But yeah, movies, Web3, entertainment.
It's coming around.
Where do you think this could go with people incorporating like NFTs or even AR with movies?
I want you to think about this. Some of the most popular movie franchises, some of the most came from books, comic books, came from stories, came from culture, right? What is the best way to bootstrap culture? NFTs.
Yeah.
But to Kenton's point, this is why those writers went on strike. Is they're against AI. They're demanding AI is controlled before they continue creating. It's like, okay, first of all, AI hasn't caught up to that, so majority of them, they're just following what the union is telling them to do.
Right.
They probably have not used AI to realize that AI is still a little stupid, and you got to double check its work because it's going to put out a lot of crap. And so. But they're demanding this. I guess the union demands it because then if you have AI and you have individual creators, which is, again, going back to why NFTs and web blockchains, when you have individual creators creating such push, like, prime example, our friend Sammy Arriaga, where he's made so much noise in the music and he is second or third to Snoop Dogg on some platforms, depending where you look. And yeah, they're scared. So I think the union's driving this, not so much the individual writers.
I would agree with that. From everything that I've understood about this current strike, that seems to be the case. Because a lot of these writers want to create cool things. It's hard to go against the grain sometimes when everyone in your peer group is performing and acting in a certain way. So that's what happens. But I did end up getting this video to work. If we want to pivot back over to Army of Tactics and this highlight that I have, and a little discussion on kind of what I've learned about it, if we want to make that move.
Yes, we do. But just to answer, to share a little more like history in the spaces, to answer Kenton's question is. One of the first movies that I'm familiar with. Now, Google says differently, or the search engine says differently, but like Anthony Hopkins produced Eurocontact directly to be released as an NFT. This was, I guess, about a year or two ago. When was this published?
Yeah, this guy.
21. So like 2 years ago. And so that's one of the first ones. And so WB, I think, followed suit and is trying to do it on a bigger level given their power. But yeah, enough on that topic.
All right, Ev. I guess we're pivoting back. Now I'm ready to see Army of Tactics. Now that we know that movies and NFTs are the future.
Hey, all of this is, guys. Can't forget. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys, and then we'll do a little discussion kind of on what I've learned and what some of this is. So just for a little preface, as you can see, the little gray squares around some of these units, that makes them the commons. These blues are the rares. Purples are the ultra rares, and they also have one tier above this, and then they have the one of ones that I will talk a little bit more about as we get a little bit further into this video, and I can talk a little bit more.
Wait. Got that giant dragon.
I know. I'm all in favor of the dragon right now. He better make it out of this alive.
I love my dragon. He's my BFF. So, and as we learned last week, when you win, you get 15 mana back. When you lose, you get 25. So there's some strategies from round to round, trying to figure out how you want to play it. So this round, I'm going a little lighter on the units.
I don't think they stand a chance with that dragon on your side.
No, the dragon is my favorite thing that I've gotten so far. It's definitely the dragon. But watch this round. This round gets a little spicy.
Spicy, he said. Oops.
Whoa, they got a lot of people on the other team.
Holy cow, yeah.
Yeah, hold up a minute.
Since he lost, he had a lot more mana than I do.
Oh, but yeah, they don't stand a chance. Look, the dragon, all that
dragon
help.
just eats it.
He's just like pooping on him. Oh, right.
And so that's the victory. I get my coins. I'm going to leave it on this screen just so I can kind of talk through a little bit about what I've learned. So what I've learned is that these tokens, right now, this is how they're represented. They're going to be different in the real game. This is all testnet tokens at the moment. So these tokens are actually tradable on Uniswap on testnet for testnet ETH. And that's how it's going to be similarly done on mainnet when this game fully launches. These tokens will be a decentralized token that you can basically deposit and withdraw from your account. You will tether your account through your Apple ID onto their website. It's called the Hub. And through the Hub, you can manage your NFTs, you can manage your tokens, as well as you can manage your friends list. And those are people that you can easily send tokens back and forth to and from. And so these NFTs are actually all completely one-of-one units. As you saw, you start the game with 8 different units. You can build out your team, your deck that you can deploy. And every one of the NFTs that they're releasing are going to be complete one-of-ones, unique, with unique abilities. Everything about that is going to be 100% unique to that specific unit and NFT. And these tokens, there is going to be an uncapped supply, but there will be a central or a decentralized market for them so that people can decide on what the token is valued at. And when you're upgrading those units, it does take tokens, and as you upgrade them, it takes a lot more tokens over time. To like the level 1 upgrades about 50 tokens, the level 2 upgrades like 500 tokens, and it scales up. So the burning and use of these tokens will be there and will be very prevalent to leveling up your characters and stuff. But I think that this game definitely has found a good balance of decentralized decentralized nature, as well as giving people a feel that they're used to. Because, as you could see in the game, it doesn't look like it's any sort of Web3 game. You don't get that feeling when you're playing it, but having that functionality on the back end is definitely a good approach from my perspective, and all the things that I've kind of learned and taken away from it. It's very, very fun game, very well done in my opinion, and it's still super early beta, so there's lots of improvements to be made.
All
So,
right.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. Evan, the one thing I noticed too is it's just a mini game styled game, which is
Right.
something that I've noticed lately is like really the trend is almost like have a simple styled game that people want to play again and again and again and again. The key though is making it something that they want to play again. And in this case, I guess it's the grind for the tokens. And like you said, you can use the tokens to upgrade the NFTs. Am I
Right.
understanding that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and one thing, Kenton, too, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. So this game is actually getting developed by the same people that built Clash of Clans, that built Clash Royale.
What are they called?
Supercell.
Thank
Supercell.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
Massive company.
Massive company. So the founding members that are no longer actually with the team, they made a bunch of money. They don't need to continue to work. They're doing this more as a passion project. So I think that those sort of swing, at bats really come up with fruitful results, in my opinion. When you're there for everything but money, you want to create something that people can enjoy and love. And I think that that's what their goal is with this. And we'll see if they can follow through on it. But it seems pretty good so far. Very early beta. I find a lot of joy in playing the game. I've spent about 6 hours total playing it now actively. So it's pretty fun.
Is that why the dragon is so good? Did you just level up the dragon?
No, I have been focusing on my dragon.
The dragon, of course he has, Ivan. That's why the dragon's stampeding all over the enemy. But no, it's really interesting.
You said each one of them is an NFT, like each one of those characters, but not yet.
No. So there's basically a wide majority of the cards are going to be free. You would play just as normal. I don't know if you've ever played some of those card battling games. It's going to be
Hearthstone's the OG, and I've spent many hours on Hearthstone.
So leveling up those base cards is going to be basically a free-to-play model. But if you want some of these custom, more unique characters, you're going to be able to go into their marketplace and purchase them and apply those to your battles. Now, most people are probably only going to have 1 or 2 characters that are like actual NFTs that are those overpowered, quote unquote. But they're at the same time, I have a feeling that they're not going to be as overpowered because there are some very, very strong base cards that you just have to level up to achieve. So they're trying to make it a freemium model where it's like, if you want to participate in the currency side, you're more than welcome to. If you never want to set up a wallet and connect to the Web3 side, you don't have to, which I think is the right way to approach this for mass adoption.
Sounds like it's still a little bit of a pay to win approach.
I mean, most of those mobile games are. What mobile game isn't pay to win in some way, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the model they have.
Yeah, it's gonna, I guess, like, I wonder, are those NFTs gonna be limited to where, like, once they're out, they're out, and so the people that have them, and so that creates a very
I would guess that there's going to be additions, like in the way that like they never release the same character again, but they will keep releasing new characters. That would be my guess, but it hasn't been officially announced or anything.
Wait till I tell my buddies that play Clash of Clans that eventually they can get into something like that. Can you, like, do you have to buy those NFTs? Can you earn them in any way that are like becoming like a, from a competitive angle? Do you know, have they shared any of that or released?
They have not, and none of that is in the game, but supposedly, I mean, think about this, Ivan. If those tokens have real value, you can earn those tokens in the game. There's going to be a way to get those for quote unquote free. If you play long enough, if you grind hard enough, you're doing some swaps, it's gonna be possible. Wait,
where's that banner? Not financial advice, just as a reminder.
But
like on the same token, can you you were talking about like this is on testnet. Did they allow you to trade the test token for test Ethereum? And
Yeah,
because there's some value in that. People are selling test Ethereum apparently. Like that's a
why
thing.
I've been grinding it, Ivan. That's why I've been grinding it.
Okay, I thought about that when you first shared it, and I'm glad we were able to close the loop. Like shit.
Yeah. It's
it's
and it's
very
honestly
interesting.
pretty lucrative because it's like right now it's like 100 tokens for like one test Ethereum, which I mean is not no money. You know, that is worth something. So
Nice. I like. your
obviously
angle.
not financial
Nice
advice.
little
Don't go
angle.
playing games trying to grind for test Ethereum, please.
I like your angle.
If the same company Supercell is doing this though, that was behind Clash though, it makes sense what the business model would be, because yeah, you could have people do the grind the whole time, but ultimately they're going to make money from the really hardcore players that, like the ones in Clash, buy the bigger town hall right off the bat. And for those listening who aren't familiar with Clash of Clans, you kind of have to understand the game a bit, but you can pay to upgrade your base to basically get to higher levels where you're able to complete more difficult challenges and reap better rewards. That might be a good way of putting it in layman's terms, but ultimately they could do that with this just as easily. Just make a little
Exactly.
fun, addictive game, and you kind of pay your way to make it. What were you going to say, Ivan?
No, that's what I was gonna say. That's why in our clan, we have a rule instituted where you can't spend any money, so that like we're all equally in just doing it all for free and for fun, and not to just to win. And so we've like having say I probably haven't played in like 6 to 12 months at this point. Maybe not that long. Time flies, but I also thought it was 2 weeks when the AC mechanic showed up earlier today, and he's like, "No, it's been 2 months." I'm like.
You also thought today was Friday, but that's neither here nor there.
No, that's just our inside joke now going on the show. I'm gonna come up with a random day, see how many times I can get Evan.
I like Friday. I like pretending it's Friday.
If it was Friday every day, we can go with that. That's fine with me.
I should say, what are we moving next to? Oh, not because I don't like the subject. I honestly think this is awesome. I think Web3 gaming has a huge future here. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on with this, though, Evan, before we move on?
No, I don't think so. It's just keep an eye out for it. This is just one of their many games that they're building in their quote unquote metaverse that they've announced. So there's going to be lots more coming, I'm sure.
Awesome.
Was it the last episode we talked about him, or the one
Yeah,
before
the
that?
last
Yeah,
one,
check
yeah.
out episode 13 of Smart Assets, and we dived into their metaverse and potentially what's launching. And this is a little follow up. So thanks for closing that loop again, Evan.
Absolutely.
Lots of loops today. Lots of loops. On that note, we're gonna jump into Mercedes a little bit and see how they've been doing. I hate sharing tweets because there's a lot of info on this tweet, but I'm gonna quickly change this. They recently, like, let's see if we follow this tweet, like they had a thorough explanation of how to participate. Long story short, they launched their mint today, and it was a Dutch, what's called a Dutch auction, and it started at 2 ETH going backwards depending on how many people were willing to buy. But it's a they called it a refundable. Where is that? Find out how to mint below. Refundable Dutch auction. Where is that term? Anyway, I'm not gonna try to read this. I thought I had this down, but like, so it basically started at 2 and it's going down. And like, we'll go currently to their mint site to see where we're at, but we're currently at 0.24, and it goes down at regular intervals until it gets to 0.2.
Oh, it's already ended, Ivan. All of them have been minted.
Wow.
Sorry, like the plan was they'll keep going down until they reach 0.02, and then they'll stop for the amount being until they sell out. If they don't sell out, the rest was going to cut, but they already sold out, and mint price was 0.24, and whoever paid more would get refunded the difference. But that's where it started, is like if you wanted to buy more and you had more liquidity, it gave a little bit of an advantage to whales. And so some people actually had a lot of objections on that when they announced this on Twitter and this approach, giving them crap that they weren't being very like Web3 way. But then other people defended the fact that like hey, Mercedes since the beginning, and Evan and I have been following it for a few weeks now, or ever since they announced it, that they're asking for feedback and approach, and this is one of many mints. And so I like what they did, in my opinion. Whether everyone does or not, different side. I think in anything we do in Web3, you're gonna find both people to argue and not be happy with whatever a brand decides. I've seen it myself on projects I've helped advise on, but yeah, congrats Mercedes for selling out 1,000 NFTs at 0.24 ETH. Someone do the math real quick. What is that? Add 2 zeros,
40.
or add 24 ETH?
240, isn't it?
Add 3 zeros. If we add 3 zeros, so 240. Yeah, 240 times 2, give or take. That's about $500,000. Is that it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Hey, that's good for Mercedes.
240, 500, and then add. Yeah, that's $500,000 of this one mint. But this is, as you read through their tweet, and hold on, I gotta cancel my MetaMask because of this extension. But as you wait, where was it? As you I thought I had it open. Let me go back to my notes. Is they share in their tweet. This is one of the first 3 that they know. That's all I have. So it's somewhere in here. This is one of the first 3 that they've announced and they're having an approach for. The next one is even going to be more limited, and they're going to try to reward their biggest fans and supporters from the very beginning. So quite interesting, but just like the brand, it's a little bit, I feel priced out, and so it's probably going to price out a lot of other people.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when those kind of scenarios happen where it's, even 1,000 pieces is limited, right? There's only so many people that can get that, and it's something that's really cool, very collectible. That's the whole idea of Web3, though. Even if you're priced out, it's still something you can appreciate from the outside.
Oh yeah, here it is. I found the tweet I was looking for. So they have highlighted if you go through their Twitter, they have a lot of laid out on what they're gonna do with the next collections, which their first one was generative art, and last week we highlighted a video of the artist that showed how they decided on the art, and as the Mint website was just showing, it was kind of cool and a nice generative play on a spinning wheel, and so the second collection, as they say right here, is to a small number of select Mercedes-Benz top customers.
Wow. That's how I thought that they should have done it for a lot of these other car mints.
Minted at IRL events.
That's cool.
So if you want one of these, you got to go follow Mercedes. So now Mercedes is creating its own groupies, digital groupies. So we went from where the jocks were the groupies, or the jock community. Now the nerds are the groupies because we're following the digital media.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but this is just a great testament to that. Like, any company can kind of go Web3 and do something like this. I mean, in Mercedes, is this their first rodeo? I thought they had something else before this, right? Something else?
No, I don't.
That was Porsche.
I can look it up. It was thank you.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, there's been a lot of brands, and Evan and I have covered them before, including Porsche, and we've actually kind of knocked on a little bit on Porsche with all respect, from them coming from left field and announcing, hey, we're doing this at some, high price, and this is what it is. And they had a really high ambition, and they didn't sell out, and then they gave into Web3 community and FUD, and they cut their collection short. And I've been a big proponent against that as an advisor on some brands in the space, because you don't have to cut your supply just because Web3 demands it. But, there's other marketers that would say the opposite. It just depends on what angle you look at it. But yeah, this is new for Mercedes. They first announced that they're doing it. They started engaging with the community and asking for feedback before they even shared what their NFTs were going to be like and the rest that I'm showing. So they have a really deep play. Whoever's advising them, someone on Twitter said, oh, they should hire new advisors. I don't know. Whoever's advising them, I think, is doing a decent job of guiding them.
I think it's an impossible situation for a lot of people to do everything right in their Web3 launch journey too. There's always critique of these companies when they do it. Always critique. So
I
yeah, you
can't
gotta cut some
imagine.
slack.
I can't imagine trying to be a Web3 lead for a company like that and then having to answer to people that have no idea how the space works.
Oh, every day, Evan. Think of every day you'd have to deal with it. Probably the person's own boss doesn't really understand what's going on completely,
Exactly.
and it's probably completely just inundated with questions and doubt and confusion all the time. But no, it's good that these bigger companies are making a stand and like putting themselves out there, because it's going to pave the way for it to be more normalized and for more people to do it. It's funny, we're talking about like Web3 games and Web3 movies, and eventually this will just be normal. People will be like, well,
It's just going to be the web.
exactly. Yeah, people are eventually going to say to us, like, why are you guys focusing on this movie? Like, this movie is a digital collectible. There's thousands of these now. This is normal now. That's how it's going to get in a couple of years.
Exactly.
On that note, let's get into what I read as very funny and dirty words.
We're going to get into Drip Haas. This is
CNFTS and DRIP. Like, I can go so many ways with that, depending on. And I'm a foreigner, so like I make up how stuff's pronounced. So CNFT starts with a K if you pronounce it as a word, and then followed by a drip. I don't know. Sorry, too far. Probably not. Did I cross the line?
It's over my head. It's okay. I'm too innocent, I think. I don't understand.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I want to share what we're doing with Drip. What Drip has been doing. They've been giving away collectibles every week from some of the most talented creators in the Solana space for free. And you guys can actually be a part of this and actually participate yourselves. They've done, at this point, I think over 100 drops. They have over 1.5 million NFTs that they've given away for free, highlighting different one-of-one artists in the space, giving different opportunities to people that might not otherwise be given spotlights like this. And their main focus has always been large scale drops. As you can see, having a supply of 160,000 NFTs on something that you don't really hear about is something that's a little bit different in this space. It's not something that will genuinely drive traction to these specific artists, but to the overall movement of Drip as a whole, which I think is a healthy balance. Getting art in people's hands, as well as building a extremely large community that wants to support one-of-one artists and different unique artists in the space. As you can see in here, there's so many different kinds of art, photography, drawing, digital experiences. They've created some of the most unique different things to give away to folks through this Drip system. And now initially Drip was being hosted within the Solana stores in Miami and New York, and those have since shut down, but Drip has continued, and they've continued onboarding users digitally through their Twitter, through different initiatives that they've launched on social media, and it's been a very successful process. As you can see, there's so many different kinds of art on here that is highlighted, and different things, different styles that these different artists have been wildly successful. They have a new drop every Wednesday, as you can see here, and it's definitely heavily curated, but it's also extremely unique. They try and give away tons of different art styles, and you guys can all participate in this for free. All you have to do is come to the Drip website, drip.haus, HAUS, and you can actually connect and sign up for these free drops to get sent to you via your Solana wallet. There's tons of different artists on here. There's tons of cool stuff that you guys can explore. I definitely recommend doing it and seeing what else is out here. They also have a Vault Music, which is free music NFT drops that you can get from different on-chain artists. Definitely a cool way to explore and find new music. They have over 86,000 people that are a part of this Vault music drop that happens every week. And there's infinite possibilities with projects like this. They really want to just expand the visibility of these artists and these NFTs, and this is the way that they've chose to do it, is through these free NFT drops. So now we actually have seen the faceless NFTs getting dropped. This was curated by a 15-year-old artist and poet with 50 different traits and lots of different unique abilities, or not abilities, just like traits within the collection. This one is rocking. They've been all over my timeline today, and I think this is the right way to go about finding and curating different art. I think giving it to people for free, letting them decide the value, especially when you're talking about a collection size that's 350,000 unique pieces of art. There's definitely a lot of potential for finding different floors for different traits and finding one that you genuinely love. Right? There's going to be lots of them that don't really have necessarily a home, but there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to find things and traits that you want to collect and enjoy. Now going over to Tensor, we can see kind of what this floor price is looking like. All the different traits here that people have either started to grow to love, or they've wanted to get out of their collection, like the McDonald's hat. We got top hats. We've got all kinds of stuff, suits with different variations. It's very cool to see such a large collection and how that actually fits into a wider ecosystem. So I'm just extremely excited to see some of these larger scale collections and how they actually hit the markets. Very unique. If you sign up, you could have been part of this free drop, the faceless drop. Sign up so you can be part of next week's. And maybe I start highlighting the ones that they drop on Wednesdays. That might be something fun to do, so we can kind of keep people up to date with some of the free art that they're missing out on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree, Ivan. I'm actually on this. I'm on from my phone right now, trying to very secretly get this going. Dude, so do I gotta buy one? Can I mint one? Did we miss it? This has only been out for 5 hours. Did they already do them all?
Yeah, so the way Solana works amazingly is they actually are able to send out these large NFT drops for very, very cheap. And you're able to just drop them to all the people on this list. They just have a running wallet list that they then send these airdrops out to all the time, every week. So if you want to be a part of that, you have to be on that list, sign up, connect your wallet, all of that fun stuff. And then you are on the list to start receiving these drops of all of this different kind of art. Obviously, I showed it earlier, but I mean, there's so many different kinds of things that you could receive, and the different variations within these collections is extremely immense too. So it's just a fun thing to be a part of. I got mine, and I'm excited to have mine and share mine on Twitter. So be sure to give people a shout out on Twitter if you're getting free art from amazing artists. I think that's the whole idea, right? It's just putting it in people's hands for them to appreciate, and I think that's the coolest thing about it.
All right, I think. And he moves that screen so fast. Don't let him. I think Evan's got a fan in the audience.
I see that. Hello, Dunderheaded.
Do you know? Is that somebody you know, Evan?
I don't know off the top of my head. I could very well possibly know this person, but I'm not. It's not clicking right now. But hello.
I'm gonna continue. So what you just shared, drip. Sounds dirty. I think they're trying to compete with somebody like Showtime.xyz. Have we covered that? I think you could get to know me first.
Oh goodness.
Have we talked about Showtime.xyz? I think we have on the show, and so I was gonna bring that up real quick.
Yes.
Showtime.xyz allows you to any creator to do free drops, and it's on Polygon, so it doesn't cost anything, and they don't even ask you to pay the 1 or 2 cent of or whatever the gas fee may be, the transaction fee. But the difference is I haven't seen anything higher than 350 minutes per image. So there may be a limit to this platform as compared to what you were showing with Drip. But if you're not familiar with Showtime.xyz, we've shared this before. It's a platform that allows creators to create art and then have the community collect it. It's a simple, if you just click collect, and you can even add a comment to collecting it, which then gets recorded on the platform. And then you have that asset sent right to your wallet without it in a matter of like seconds. While you collect it, at the same time, your profile on this platform follows that creator. So it's also a way for the creators to start growing their community. So I appreciate all platforms like that. And I'm glad you share that, because now this is on Polygon. Now we have on Solana, and as we keep evolving, these platforms should become more blockchain, or what's the word, interoperable. So it doesn't matter what wallet. Oh, in fact, just when I connected to this, because I haven't been here in a couple of days, they've had an update. It told me that if I connect my MetaMask, I'm going to have the option to use Phantom Wallet. So now this works with the Phantom Wallet, this Showtime.xyz. So maybe they've hurried up and added that because of Drip, and maybe they're trying to stay relevant. But they're also a little bit different because Drip airdrops to everyone that creates an account, I guess, from what you shared, versus this, you having to log in here daily and see what the artists are dropping and pick it up by clicking collect. And you're also limited to how many you can collect per so often. I think an hour and a half, and then it puts you on a cooldown to like come back before you can collect anymore.
I think that's so awesome. The way that, I wish some more platforms were structured like that, because I think you're right on the nose there, Ivan. That's the way you build a community that genuinely likes what you're putting out there.
This is dope.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that is
really
cool. Wow.
I'm grabbing it before they're gone. Look, because there's only 350.
You got to do it.
But yeah, that's Showtime.xyz. You can collect one of these yourself right away. Just you collect the wallet, and that's it. And then it allows you to share it to social media also, which again helps the creators grow their community and expose their art. So I'm all about it. And so I'm definitely looking forward to trying out Drip and seeing what's going on there.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I love the cross pollination between chains. There's so many cool things that you just don't know until you see it yourself, right? Heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
then I'm trying to get the invite code. I don't know if you can get one of those for me, but I'm at that part of this. So
I might be able to make something happen. Maybe not on the show, but I'll send you something. I think I know how to make that happen.
This whole movement, though, I'm fascinated by it because it's making NFTs free, which is something that some people are against, but it really is an excellent network to distribute artwork through. Like, I can see this really growing into some major use cases, if that isn't already what it is by now. But to do what that was over 350,000 or 360,000 NFTs. That's a lot of NFTs to get out there. But when you can build like these massive communities, if they establish any value at all, there's a lot to say about that. And I really think too that for some artists, I think that the just notability, and I guess just the awareness of their artwork out there, the fact that they exist, they can get that through these massive drops, which is just huge. So even if they're not all sold, the distribution through airdrop into people who actually care about art, it seems like a win-win. I'm eager to get signed up for this because I would love to get free NFTs first off, but like artwork every Wednesday on a weekly basis, just to follow along, be a part of all those even mega communities, tweet out about it. Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Absolutely. And I think that's the whole point of why they've gone with Solana too, is they're able to do that for such a low cost. I'm sure sending out 350,000 NFTs probably cost them about $40, believe it or not.
Wow.
Isn't that just mind blowing to
think
about that?
Well, it also is a great use case for Solana, but I think that's a whole other discussion. We need Solana for stuff like this. I think we're still in too small of a circle for everybody to see that. But what a great use case for a blockchain with low fees. Just from the creators end of it. The consumers can't necessarily appreciate that, but if the creators can, yeah, it's game changer.
Definitely. All right. Well, I think that wraps up that topic. What are we on to next? Do we want to talk about Puma?
Crypto Daddy, welcome back.
Yeah. Solana for life.
420.
Crypto Daddy 420's got it.
He's got it down.
So that's we can decide, and we can either play rock paper scissors, given that we're about an hour into the show, which topic we discuss last. Is it my topic or your topic? Do we play rock paper scissors? Do we vote on it? Do we ask the audience to decide and give them
Rock,
options?
paper, scissors. I'm the ref. I'm the referee. We could rock, paper, scissors this out, and I'll call the winner. I think we got to do best 2 out of 3, though. Best 2 out of 3.
Or do we take quick 5 minutes and talk about both? Let's see.
I mean, I can be pretty quick on my topic. It is pretty cool, so I can't promise that there won't be a fun discussion afterwards, or I'm more than happy to save that for next week. I'm more than happy to. If you want to
either
talk
way,
on
we can spend 5 minutes on both. Let's go with yours. Although I have some, I'm gonna give you forewarning, that I just realized what the topic was, and so I have a little bit of FUD and concern about that topic and where it may go, based on recent developments and based on stamps. Nobody talks about stamps. We've talked about stamps before.
We have talked about stamps.
And so let's get into it. Let's go.
All right. So, okay. This one is, in my opinion, really, really cool. Let me see. Boom.
Solana for life, yeah.
Solana for life. All right. So I'm going to bring us over to Magic Eden on the Bitcoin side of the marketplace. And we're going to look a little bit at Ordinal MaxiBiz, otherwise known as OMB. Now, as you can see, we're not buying these for the art. These aren't worth, 100K for the art. But they are worth it because
100K what? Sorry.
100K, $100,000.
Holy cow.
4 Bitcoin for the floor on these. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But the reason for that is because of the way that they have been inscribed and the method and the process that the inscriptions actually went through. So as you can see, they're under 100K, or actually they're not all under 100K. They're all under 1 million inscription number. But I don't think that they did that because of the inscription number. We learned a little bit more about this. This is their Twitter, by the way. One of their founders is ZK Shark, super amazing, talented guy in the space. Absolutely love everything about the dude. But they came through with these early block Satoshis. And this is over on their Substack, ZK Substack. We can link that in the description of this video when we post it after the fact. But basically, the earliest block that was mined that wasn't a Satoshi-only block was block 9. These Satoshis date back to 2017, the locating of these Satoshis, long before the inception of ordinal theory, underscoring an enduring consensus around the FIFO methodology employed by ordinals. So what they basically did was somebody found these Satoshis back in 2017, realized that they were super early Satoshis, and knew that they were going to have some historical value, long before ordinals ever became a thing. And while searching for rare sats, he began exploring his wallets for older sats. He found some from block 800, from block 786, blocks 200, 300, and 400, and eventually discovered block 78 Satoshis in his wallet, freshly withdrawn from the exchange. So these were, imagine rare quarters that are banging around in vending machines and washing machines and laundromats, and eventually somebody finds them. This is kind of how these Satoshis were. They were just floating through the cosmos of Bitcoin's blockchain, and he ended up with them luckily. So he thought it was an error at first, 2-digit blocks. How could it be possible that he had these sats from such an early point in Bitcoin? So he decided to then mint more of these ordinal MaxiBizes on these early Satoshi or early sats, and that was just the start. So he wanted to find Satoshis from block number 9, which were extremely rare. They were received by Hal Finney, directly from Satoshi, and his ongoing quest was eventually fruitful. He eventually did get his hands on about 90 of those Satoshis from block 9, which are extremely, extremely, extremely rare. As you can see, this is how many Satoshis are in circulation. That's million, billion, so 1.9 trillion Satoshis. And he went back trying to find these extremely, extremely specific Satoshis, only being less than 1 million of them out there. So he eventually found them through trading and bartering with some OG Bitcoin whales, and was able to inscribe these ordinal maxi bizes on these Satoshis, so making them some of the most rare inscriptions that exist. And those would be these 965 and up ones, are those on the block 9 actual sats. So these, in my personal opinion, some of these higher inscription ones are super undervalued compared to like how rare they are, and I think what could possibly come of those someday. Obviously, Ivan, I want to hear what you have in response to this, but that is me laying it all out on the table for what I think about what's going on here.
Don't stop sharing these ugly things.
I won't. They're so bad, aren't they?
Kenton, you're muted.
Hold on. The art here, to be honest, these are not that ugly. I actually think
Look at this. Look at this.
I know, but this is freaking artistic. I mean, every part of it. Yeah, every part of this is meant to be a drastic artistic play. And yes, it might be seen as like a technological play, but no, I think that the idea of having such rare sats that these just very unique images are on, they almost look all hand-drawn one-of-ones. Like, that just makes them really insane. Look at the one that resembles Frank that you just scrolled by. Yeah, like, there's one row up, actually. Isn't that who that's supposed to be?
That's Frank. Yeah, that's Frank.
I was going to say, I think that there is so much to this collection. And usually I'm a big, like, I don't know, art player. I want the art to be great. But I see the artistry here. It's the fact that this is totally one of a kind and nothing's ever going to be able to replicate this. Very interesting.
I'm sorry for calling them ugly. Yes, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm a big believer and supporter of that. And so, like, Jahan's new PFP, for example, I don't know. These are kind of like, I don't want either of them. I'm going to walk
those
away
are
from
ugly.
both.
Those proto gremlins
wait, I like those more. More.
I think they're supposed to be a little ugly. They're like ugly dolls. They're meant to be ugly in a sense. These, work of art.
Absolute beauty.
Here's my beef with this. I think, so I was, during your story, I got a little confused. And so I thought he found those rare Satoshis via the NFTs that were inscribed onto them. But it sounds like he found those rare Satoshis and himself inscribed to them, which is when I went like this, because he's ruined those rare Satoshis. That's like taking a rare, to your example, taking a rare quarter that you found in a vending machine that no one's paid attention on and drilling a hole through it.
But is it, though?
If we go back to our conversation of why Bitcoin stamps or more what's the right word? More intrinsic from the factor that you can't sort them out and clean them out and get rid of them from that perspective, because these things are inscribed onto those Satoshis, the Satoshis become identifiable, and therefore you can sort them out and clean them out and even burn them. Sure, it'd be a waste of money, but you can burn those Satoshis, and there goes every inscription with them on there. And that is why I'm like, no, he dirtied the clean Satoshi or the early mint Satoshis.
Yeah, but see, what else would you do with them, Ivan? Just keep them?
Yes, because here's why. Now we have images inscribed onto Satoshis. Now we have identifiable Satoshis. Now we also have Satoshis that have been through criminal activities that is also identifiable and have been through different agencies, which is why it's creating a market for virgin Bitcoin and virgin Satoshis. And so for all of those reasons is I would keep those early mint if they, especially if there's a clean trail and they can be potentially proven virgin. I would keep those early mint Satoshis or early whatever Satoshis you
The
call
blocks,
them.
yeah.
For those reasons, is because of all this that's going on. That makes them that more unique, and I hope he saved some and didn't mint on all of those.
No, he didn't. He still has some. He has made that clear.
Especially block 9.
Yeah, so he has some still left over, but it's.
Like, could you imagine owning a single Satoshi of block 9 that's virgin and nothing's been done to it, and no inscription, and you can't identify besides you knowing it?
Well, but the thing is you can identify it. That's the way that he found these too.
Well, but you can't.
I mean, that single Satoshi is probably worth more than an entire Bitcoin.
You can't like omit them or whatever the argument was between stamps and inscriptions on Bitcoin is why I was like, yeah. But I may be wrong. I'm no developer and I don't know coding that well and like that to understand it. It's just my understanding of why the Bitcoin stamps were such a big deal.
From my understanding, if you do not handle, like, say I spent the money to buy one of these, and if you do not handle it correctly, it is still a block 9 Satoshi. It just happens to have an inscription on it. And if you send it like a normal transaction, it'll send like a normal Bitcoin Satoshi. So technically, you know, yes, people are going to be kind of turned off from buying these for the Satoshi itself, but it does have that double intrinsic value of being part of a collection as well as the identifying Satoshi itself. So I get your point entirely, I do, but I think that there's being able to add to that Satoshi just in its intrinsic value is good.
I can appreciate that side also. Like I'm trying to be a supporter of both. I just don't, you know, like I'm more like now that virgin Satoshis and clean Satoshis are a thing. Like I'm like but like here's my question. So if someone buys one of these NFTs, do they own the Satoshi that it's inscribed?
Yes,
it is inscribed onto, and like
yes. That's how it works. Yep.
So are you telling me I'm paying $100,000 for one Satoshi when Bitcoin's at $27,000?
Yep.
For how many a million Satoshis in a Bitcoin?
That's NFTs, baby. That's
NFTs. That's NFTs.
Yeah, that has been the humorous part I find out of all of this is that one Satoshi does not equal one Satoshi.
It does not. It does not. That is for sure.
Yeah, not anymore. I still, the more I look at this artwork, the more I like it. The more I like all the really, really uniqueness of some of this. Like some of them are just like the one that it's just like his head is the Bitcoin symbol. Very interesting. There's the one.
I love the ether rock.
Dude, the rock. But like, there's just so much hidden just play here with what they're alluding to. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now it makes sense why ZK Shark changed his profile picture to a black and white knockoff CryptoPunk. It never was that. It was never that. He was working at something bigger. And now this makes sense. Wow.
I'm going to be honest. I expect this floor, absolutely not financial advice. If you spend 4 Bitcoin on this, I am ashamed to have known you at this point. Anyone that does this. But I do expect this floor to continue increasing. Not financial advice. I'll make that clear again.
Then you can't blame them.
Yeah.
You can't blame them. If they're going to sell at the top for 8, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much Bitcoin artwork goes like this, but that is a crazy history of what these all mean. Wow.
Yeah. I think it's one of the most unique NFT projects that exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only Ordinals project with Satoshis from Block 9. That is a fact. So, you know, do with that information what you will. I think it's very unique. And I'll stop sharing. I was way more than my 5 minutes.
Oh no, good. That was fun. Well, real quick, let's touch on the latest sneakers manufacturer. Snickers, not the candy bar.
Sneakers.
The shoes.
Sneakers.
So sneakers, not Snickers. Snickers is a candy bar, so I got it backwards. F in English. F in English. The latest sneaker brand to be joining Web3, Puma.
Ooh.
Now, Puma joined last year, fall of last year, but they didn't make enough of splash, and now they are, and they're doing a digital turn. But when they joined last year, they launched their what they're calling Black Station. If I can find my windows, please hold. There we go. And Black Station is I haven't entered it to explore it because it's a 3D spatial. Like I can potentially click enter and see what happens, but connect wallet, skip. Let's just check out. I do have a wallet, but it's an experience within. I didn't see what I just clicked next to a bunch of times, and this is exactly an example of what not to do when in Web3. But I didn't connect the wallet. I was just going for the experience, and they're in spatial. Those of you familiar with Web3 and spatial, spatial is creating a lot of 3D environments where it allows you to host events and meetings and meet up with avatars and whatnot. And so Puma started with that late last year. Oh my! I guess I'm in queue.
Yeah, it says you're in queue. We're waiting.
Do you know? Do we know what we're in queue for? Because I clicked through that real fast while I was speaking.
You're the one who's clicking links. You're the one clicking links, not us.
So I'm about to leave this queue because I was trying to show the experience, but I don't want to take too long speaking about this. And so anyway, if you visit blackstation.puma.com, and you can find that on puma.com as well. But their latest is they have recently partnered up with LaMelo Ball. And if you're not familiar with LaMelo, I wasn't. I guess he plays for the NBA, but for the Hornets, I know that, NBA 2K, I'll challenge any one of you or anybody out there on NBA 2K any day. I'm great at that game, but I don't know my sports. And so Puma has partnered up with LaMelo. And they're about to release digital assets that will give you first hand at. Wait, I'm trying to find the rest of my links. That will give you first hand at their latest sneakers.
Very cool.
These are the sneakers. Wait, I was trying to get
Whoa.
to them. So again, it's in a partnership with that player. There's limited sets of shoes, and you need that NFT to get your hands on it first. And that NFT is going to release on June 29th. So there's still plenty of time. But it is a really cool design, and they're trying to make some noise and give Nike and Adidas, who they're joining into the industry with competing for this space, a unique play on their money.
Ivan,
in my opinion, I may be wrong, but
look at the tongue of that shoe. That's a gutter cat, and the name of the shoe is Gutter Mellow.
Oh wow, yeah, Gutter Cat Gang.
That's cool. As much as that project has suffered over the last couple years, that is still really cool.
Wow, it's a great looking shoe.
Yeah, that's very, very unique.
I think it is. Why did they partner with Gutter Cat? Was that mentioned? Did I totally miss that?
So LaMelo's been repping Gutter Cat publicly for a very long time.
Oh,
so that's
okay,
my
that
guess.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he wore the Gutter Cat Gang shoes last year in a couple different games, I believe. He had some custom shoes made elsewhere, and now he's doing this with Puma. That's really unique.
Oh yeah, you can see the Gutter Cat NFT icon on the top of the shoe. I see it now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is his signature, LaMelo's signature sneaker. And you can buy the NFT on June 29 on OpenSea for $175 credit or ETH. I'm not sure if any other crypto will be available, but thought that was really neat. It's exciting. It's going to create more competition, more noise, more fashion brands coming into the space. Another name to add to next year's Decentraland Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. I'm not sure if Puma was part of New York Fashion Week this year, had the opportunity to go, but and there he is, the man himself with the shoe. But it would be cool to check out New York Fashion Week and then jump into Decentraland's Fashion Week, which was quite fun though. Like I watched some artists follow that around and share, some influencers in the space share on it. But that's Puma for you. And coming up, and you can sign up $175, collect the shoe. I imagine this shoe is going to resell for so much more money, and collectors are going to be paying up for it. Like some of the Nikes out there and some of the Air Jordans.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's definitely got that look to it that's going to be unique. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, because now you don't have just sneaker enthusiasts. Now you have Web3 enthusiasts and collectors and fans and the visual aspect. And it's going to be, and it's the first one of what Puma's doing and that guy. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Definitely.
It's wild. I need sneakers like that. They make me cool. They make me look really cool. Let's be honest.
Now, would you ever wear them? Here's the question.
All the time.
Let's go.
No, you're right. Wearability is a concern. We've got like 3, 8, 14, 20 colors on there. But I mean, isn't that how you're supposed to wear your shoes? Loud and proud? I think that's it. I think the shoes are meant to be a little eccentric. And it's good promotion for the project. That's what I'm not over yet. I think that's crazy that Gutter Cut Gang's getting that kind of attention. It just shows what'll happen to other NFT brands too.
But that's the thing. We're in a bear market, and lots of NFT brands are suffering, and it's a matter of who keeps building and grinding to them. A lot of them made significant revenue during the bull run. Which is why, as great as Yuga Labs and Bored Apes Yacht Club may be, they put out a shit game, a game about shit. Like, seriously? Like, what are you telling us? Like, this is what we did with your money. We turned it into shit. What do you think? So you couldn't have gotten a little more creative and productive? Like, we talk about people releasing crap games in Web3, and even those that have money like Yuga Labs. I'm sorry, it may not be a popular opinion, and a lot of the Degen folk out there really like that game for whatever reason and have spent many of hours playing it. I'm not into scat. Sorry.
But again, it's that mini game thing, Ivan. It's the people playing mini games. They want to play the same thing.
So a little bit of poop is okay.
Oh yeah. Well, no, repetitious poop.
My point is they freaking have created a conglomerate of what they've built based on their popularity. Could you have come up with a little more creativity than a game about poop?
Maybe. I don't know though.
All right. On that note, I think it's time we call it a show here. Kempton, any closing notes for our audience on your first show and first experience firsthand with Evan and myself?
No, this is great. I have no resounding critique. I honestly learned a lot today. I'm gonna go look into that drip thing. That's one of the things I definitely want to go do. Just seeing that we're talking about NFTs again is nice. I know you guys are always doing that on smart assets, but the space shifted away from it so much so. I even felt like we got into, that Apple goggles people have been talking about a lot. But this is good. We focus on NFTs in real life too, with even just the shoe attachment with Puma, Mercedes, the movies. So all of that's really big. It was good. This got me excited again about NFTs and how all of these projects can really build into the world as we know it. I think it's going to go mainstream before our very eyes. It'll happen quicker than we think.
Absolutely, I agree. Not financial advice.
Never financial advice. Where's the banner? Ivan?
So we no longer need it. We've said it enough. There you go. Plus, financial advice not given in a group setting and publicly. So, anyone that assumes it's financial advice has no grounds. But we like to share it because in this space, as we were talking about on our spaces this morning, American Crypto Academy's morning announcements every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. when you're investing into crypto, expect to lose every bit of it. And this is why we're all here, because the narrative and the community and the free market, as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says, is going to determine the rest, which is what I think has driven the market thus far anyway. And so, Evan, what are your closing thoughts for tonight?
I'm just excited about the space. I think there's a lot that's happening behind the scenes, and every time that I get down on myself about the market, it's like something cool I see on Twitter. It brings me back. It's like people are still here building, and that's the most important thing. People want to build cool stuff so that cool people can enjoy it.
We're going to keep grinding and working together and uniting. And I think what we're seeing in the market right now, a quick note with Coinbase and Binance and the SEC's lawsuits against those exchanges, is uniting us in the Web3 and crypto community and blockchains even more so, and making us more that much more powerful with our voices and what we can stand for together. So I agree with you, Evan. Regardless of what the market performance is, when we think about it, the narrative hasn't changed. What the community stands behind all of this hasn't changed, and we keep on moving forward. And U.S. regulatory environment is going to do what they're going to do, and but we owe values sort of reestablish themselves or regain their losses from some of that news. And so I'm definitely thrilled about all of that. And with that, just a shout out to everyone out there. Thanks for tuning in. Please give us a follow, be it on Twitch or YouTube. We appreciate your support. We're going to keep bringing this to you. We do this for enjoying and entertainment and providing alpha. A lot of what we share on this show is alpha. I'm just an example today. Kenton didn't know about some of these stuff. They've been around for a while. It's sometimes we take it for granted because of what we know, but that's again why we host Smart Assets and bring it all to you, and being able to update you and show you what's great out there. And it's only going to get easier, to Kenton's point of onboarding the next billion and welcoming everyone to the space and what's possible with when we hold our private keys and wallets.
Definitely.
One day it'll happen, Ivan.
Soon. It's coming. It's a matter of time. I think this is probably the last regulation somewhere when we get over that hurdle, and thanks to Coinbase establish some guidelines that we can all follow together and agree on.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Hey, Kent and Evan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As always, Smart Assets, we're signing off, and hope everyone has a great week.
Have a great rest of your week, guys.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good one.
Awesome.
Cheers.